what happens is I have a lot to say, and sometimes I'll have to stop and pause and think about some of the profound things in society and religion and earth that I thought of before and I've written down in some places, but I don't want to read notes. I'm not reading, I'm just talking. And so if it gets a little distracted once in a while, please bear with me. Recently, Pat Robertson said something to the world about Haiti and how they were getting paid for their sin, which is a terrible thing to say. I know in the Bible that there were people that had died, and Jesus asked, "Do you think that those Galatians did something wrong, that they deserved that?" And he said, "No, of course not." And he said, "But, watch yourselves, or else you're going to die in the same way." But I have to say that no one is going to be punished like that. That's something that isn't, we're being completely led astray on. There was another man back a few years ago. There was an incident in Russia where they had to storm a theater where some children had been kept captive. And so they came up with the great idea of putting gas in there to knock out the bad guys, whatever. And some of the children died. And a Russian Orthodox priest said that they were being punished for their sins. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Of course not. And I have it. It says there, do you think these Galatians deserve to die? Did they do something for this to happen to them? And he said, no, of course not. No, what our concern in religion has to be is love. I know it's difficult for men to understand because men are strong, and I think that a lot of them have been left with the opinion that love is weak somehow, but it isn't. It's one that takes the most strength. Let's say, for example, that someone does something to hurt you. It takes a lot of strength and self-control not to strike back. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, is not striking back, whether it's suing someone or, physically smacking them. It's difficult when you get angry. You have to practice self-control. I know in the Bible it said at the end times people wouldn't have a lot of self-control. I definitely see that. And also that love wouldn't be there, and I definitely see that too. But those are the things that are supposed to be there. People follow after the Ten Commandments. Christians. It's not that you're supposed to break the law. Remember, Paul said, no, I'm not teaching you to break the law, but I want you to understand everything is permissible. Just not everything is good for you. So the next time that you're thinking about whether you broke a commandment today, ask yourself if you kept the commandment of love. When Jesus broke the commandment and he didn't keep the Sabbath holy, it was because he was doing something with love. When Sandy lies about Aunt Susie's hat and says that it's the most beautiful hat she's seen when it's hideous, she's lying because of love. We don't want her to have to lie, but we don't want you to follow, I don't want you to follow after the law anymore. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to do everything with love, if it's kind, patient, giving. And our examples are few and far between. I think I'm going to change the header of my little show to say Britney Spears or something like that, so that people might hit this and start listening. So you're supposed to be loving one another. Society is a scrambled up mess, and it can be straightened out. It can. We have the tools, we have the mind, we have the will to do it. When I was 12 years old, I was in a sociology class, and my teacher taught me then that life is what we make it, and it really is. Our society is what humans decide to do. We can decide to do it any way we want. Certainly, that is not a new concept, but a lot of people don't really grasp it. Parents have done it, the grandparents have done it, they're just living. They don't understand that this is something we can change, or at least mold to fit better the human spirit and soul and mind, not just our physical needs. So, again, I have so much to say. I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to come back, and every time I get a chance, I'm going to talk about it. Whatever. Life, the universe, and everything. By the way, talking about universe, I don't believe in very much in superstition, but I do believe that the planets have an interaction with our physical being, simply because the moon causes the waves on the ocean. When it's in different locations, high tide, low tide, so it's having a physical interaction with Earth. Don't let any more mumbo jumbo steer Earth away from grabbing what belongs to us. It belongs to us to know and understand what effect the planets have on us physically. It's science. I want to know, okay, if Saturn's over there and Jupiter's there and the moon is there, what is it doing to my body? I want to know. We don't do research like that because everybody says, oh, that's astronomy or astrology and it's not real, it's superstition. No, it's real, it's not superstition. The people that are making it superstitions are the ones that are, you know, messing the whole thing up. You need to learn about it. It's science. So there's so much more out there that most people don't stop and think about. But if it's going to make that much of a difference on me, I'd really kind of like to know what it is. So, just little info like that comes and goes.